Once upon a time, the Vault Hunters played a game.
The world is on the brink of going boom boom. This is our most desperate hour. Unless we make a stand here and now, we gonna die. Now. Roll for initiative!
All right, everybody, here we are. Welcome to the first ever inaugural exclusive live stream of Tiny Tina's Bunkers and Badasses, the tabletop game. We are going to be doing this exclusive stream, and we've got some very special guests today who will be our players. My name is Randy Varnell. I'm the narrative guy at Gearbox, so I love stories. I've been doing this for a while. And let me introduce you to some really cool friends who will be the players in our campaign today. First off, I want to introduce David Wald. David is, you Borderlands fans may know him as the voice of Wainwright in Borderlands 3. It's done a ton of other voices. You want to say hi, David?
That's right. I do hope and expect there is a Jakobs firearm available for purchase or acquisition somewhere in this game. Can you verify this for me, Randy?
I don't know, but we're going to find out.
Damn it, son!
You know,
Right, all right.
If it takes more than one shot, you're not using a Jacobs, right?
That's right.
Next up, the wonderful and infamous Morgan Webb, who has been Morgan. I've watched you since way back in the day on G4 TV and gaming culture. You're one of my heroes. It's just an honor to be on stream with you today. So, hey, Morgan.
Hi. I don't do any voices. So I'm sorry. Everyone's going to have to do extra voices for me.
That is the best Morgan Webb impersonation I've ever heard.
I'm like, okay, I can do that one, and then I can do Valley Girl. I can do two, Morgan Webb and Valley Girl.
I think that's going to work great.
Now we have to hear the Valley Girl.
So next up, we've got Mr. Michael Swaim with us, who does some really awesome video work at IGN. You've been in Cracked, you've been in several other places. I think you are all over the internet, Michael. Say hi to everybody for us.
Why, hello, sir. I do know voices of note and am known for relatively nothing. But it's great to be here anyway. Thank you so much for having me. I think we're going to have a blast.
And last but not least, we've got Zehra Fazal with us, who is the voice of Amara the Siren in Borderlands 3. Hey, Zehra.
Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to get to some locking of phases and punching of bad guys.
So let's talk about a little bit what we're doing today, because this is a brand new thing. So just a few months ago, we introduced that there is a Bunkers and Badasses tabletop game. If you Borderlands fans remember, Tiny Tina's The Assault on Dragon Keep was a DLC for Borderlands 2, where we kind of celebrated tabletop role-playing games in the Borderlands game.
Welcome, fine ladies, to your first session of the most coolest game in the world, Bunkers and Badasses! As your bunker master, I will be spinning today's tale of fantasy and...
Wait, why the hell are we playing this kid's game?
Oh, you know, maybe because... Shut the hell up, Morty!
This is now the tabletop game of the tabletop game that was in Borderlands that Tiny Tina did, and we are playing in a world that is kind of like Borderlands, but is also fantasy. Our characters today are going to be playing versions of the Borderlands 2 characters kind of realizing this. So David is going to be playing the Gunzerker. May or may not be Salvador, but he can call the Gunzerker whatever he wants. Morgan's going to be playing the assassin that you might recognize as Zero in Borderlands 2, but it's, again, whatever name you want to call your assassin, Morgan, is fine with me.
I mean, can you have like a Valley Girl assassin? Is that a thing?
Absolutely. Do you have a Valley Girl name for your assassin?
Like, no. Like, I would actually give my name to anybody. I mean, ew.
No.
You would have to earn that. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, you get Zero, but the Valley Girl name of that is like no.
Like so no.
Like no. So your name is going to be like no for the session. Like no, but you have to say
no. Last name, ew.
That works for me. Michael, you're going to be doing Axton, the soldier for us with turrets and pistols, and I know you want a rifle, but maybe in this tabletop RPG game we'll be able to open a chest and find some loot. So who knows? Stay tuned. And very appropriately, Zehra, you're going to be playing Maya, the phase locking siren for us. So there is some phasing and some locking, and maybe both of those together.
Excellent. Love my siren sister.
Is there any pop locking?
I don't know. Anytime that you want, Dave, you can just go ahead and start that up on the screen.
No one's stopping you, man.
Oh,
No
my.
one's stopping you.
So we all ready to jump into the adventure?
Oh, yeah.
Let's do
Yes,
it.
sir.
Okay, so we are in the fantastical world of Pandora. Now, it's not Pandora like in Borderlands. It's Pan''Dora. So every time I say it, I'm going to do the little click glottal stop on it because it's very important in any kind of fantasy setting to have an apostrophe in there so you know it's fantasy. Also, a lot of Y's. Morgan, your name is spelled L-Y-K-E, like no. So just in case you were wondering. Let's jump in. So we're using a wonderful tool, Foundry, here to play in. It's going to let us show you the maps, move the characters around, and roll dice. So everybody's going to get a good look at that while we're playing. So here we go. You each jolt awake to the gravel-edged screech of an unfortunate spiderling having met its sudden end beneath the wheel of the mystical chariot that is ferrying you and your fellow vault hunters to Brimstone, the town you find yourself in front of. A little more than an outpost on the blistered backside of Pandora, Brimstone provides less than the bare minimum to adventurers like yourselves in search of fame, fortune, and of course a 4-digit kill count. Your ride slows to a stop just outside of Brimstone's meager gate, and the driver, before exiting the fantasy equivalent of your bus, turns to you and says, "The name is Marcus. If you're looking for work, come find me at the munitions market. Everyone does, sooner or later." And so Marcus gets out of the bus and walks up the stairs here in the front of the town and disappears out of sight, leaving you clueless and abandoned in the middle of the wasteland in front of this rundown town. Now, the walls, as you can kind of imagine, are made out of junk. It's more of a junk pile than a town. It's piled up high. There are literally discarded magical books and dysfunctional staves and ragged wizard hats, all sorts of stuff lying around in junk piles, just like you would expect to find in an absolutely, totally fantastical world in this place. And you're just presented here with this the steps up into the city. So it goes to you. What would you guys like to do? I think there's an obvious choice here, but if you want to go completely off script and befuddle your bunker master. By the way, I am the bunker master, the BM for the setting. It's important that when you refer to me, it's BM Randy, and we'll be sure that the respect is noted and move there. So, what would you guys like to do?
Well, I say sooner or later we go to check the guy out at munitions, so let's just make it sooner and get right to it.
I do love a munition.
I'm sure I need bullets anyway, right?
All right, so
Run all the way.
go ahead and move your characters just to the top of the gate here in the entrance of the city. You've just stepped into Brimstone, and of course, I can't let you get all the way to your desired location without interrupting you with someone who is going to roll out of the darkness.
Oh, God.
And turn on his special light. And this figure, which looks something like an orange toaster on a wheel, or I guess we don't have toasters in this world, so a bread basket or a tavern oven, rolls up to you and says, "Greetings!" says a shrill voice coming from about waist high. You turn to see a robot that looks like, well, in this description, a cereal box on a unicycle. "Welcome to Brimstone. I'm your guide to your new home away from anything remotely resembling a home." I absolutely did put quotes around that word home, by the way. "The name is Claptrap, Wizard Claptrap. Let me take a moment of your time to show you around the place." So the enchanted automaton pivots on his wheel, gazes at the sliver of civilization behind him, and says, "Well, that's pretty much it. In case you need to get a hold of me for any reason at all, use one of these." So Wizard Claptrap reaches in. Now it's a robot with a hat. He also has this weird woven beard on his face. In fact, I may have a little bit better picture of our friend here. Let's see. Oh yeah, how about this? Here we go. There we go. That's Wizard Claptrap.
Aww.
Shouldn't that eye be a
Prosper
wine?
reaches into his beard and pulls out 4 things that are about the size of a cell phone, which of course totally don't exist in this world, but you know what a cell phone is. And they're kind of stone big gray dominoes, 2 in each of his little hands, and hands them out in front of himself.
Maya pets Claptrap on the head. She's very enchanted by how adorable this little bot is.
He kind of, oh, well, look, love and attention, the very ingredients that one needs for life. Thank you very much. I am now yours forever.
Yay!
And then he tries to proffer you the little black stone chips again.
I'll take one.
All right, everybody going to take one of those?
I'll take
one of those. I'll even awkwardly and confusedly pat him on the head too. You might get me something.
Awesome. So you each talk about that, and the Claptrap will...
Intensely, I suppose.
Well, he will lean into that. He will absolutely accept all of the pats that you give him. Strangely, as you take your little black box, runic blue sigils appear on the surface and glow, and you start to feel a buzzing in your head. And Claptrap says, "Hello, hello," and strangely, you can now hear it directly in your mind and not out loud. And Claptrap says, "Great! Thanks to the mystic art of echomancy, these echo stones allow two-way communication over vast distances. Plus, you'll automatically hear episodes of my EchoCast whenever it updates. There's no known spell or incantation used that you can use to unsubscribe, so there we go. Now, follow me!" So Claptrap turns off his light and he starts wheeling around the city.
Tour
Are you
10.
going to follow Master Claptrap?
Hell yeah.
Oh, a good soldier always takes his bearings and checks out the surroundings.
Good job. So this is just to give this setting a little bit more as you're following this strange rolling wizard across the wasteland. It's kind of early morning. If you look around the kind of the city, you're in a walled enclave of buildings that are probably more rubble heaped than buildings. There's some different states of disrepair around here, but it's definitely, the city is not awake yet. Not to say that this is a tiny little remote town ever wakes up, but it's not awake yet. The only light you really see right now is in front of the building that Claptrap's rolling up towards, and you see certainly that on the building is a large sign that says Marcus Munitions.
Oh, that's the fellow from earlier.
So Claptrap rolls up there and stands in front of the door, and as you follow and walk up to him, he says, "If you need a job, check with Marcus at the munitions market. I'd take you in myself, but I'm much too busy studying wizardry, so I can't. Me being unable to conduct you there is entirely about my packed magical schedule, and not that there are a small number of stairs leading up and into the munitions market. But my previously stated obligations preclude me from accompanying you, and it's totally not about the stairs at all. So, Marcus Munitions, everyone."
We were just going to spend the rest of the session crafting him a ramp.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's get on that. There's plenty of materials around. I'm going to need you to give me a...
All right, Axton is not killing stuff quickly enough, so he's definitely all for going on the mission. I'm going to step inside.
All right. Everybody following Axton inside?
Yep.
Although I'm lighted
Yeah.
with the wall.
Claptrap seems like he'll be busy a while.
Yeah, you
I
can
steal
just put
a-
yourself on the roof of the building, and we'll pretend that's inside. I don't have an interior for this one just right now, so let's talk about what's going on inside Marcus Munitions. So, as you walk in, a guy that resembles this fellow right here. Now, I guess I should say, the merchant smiles as you enter. Above him, standing here and there, is a very large, lovingly carved wooden sign that says, "Do not kill me, or you will be cursed forever." And so Marcus says, welcome. I'm glad you are here. In addition to running the market and driving the cart, I am a matchmaker. I broker deals between vault hunters like yourself and certain clients who want results. Pandora is a world full of stories. Maybe you want to hear one, right? Maybe one of them brought you here. Sometimes they turn out to be true. Have you ever heard of the Wizard's Wand? Anyway, the manufacturing guilds, he doesn't even wait for you to respond. He continues on. He's got this internal monologue going on. He says, the manufacturing guilds would pay a pretty fantasy equivalent of a penny to get their hands on such a legendary weapon. In fact, I have it on good authority that 5 of the manufacturers sent representatives to Brimstone specifically to seek out vault hunters like yourself. Unfortunately, I also have it on even better authority that they were all murdered. If you can find their corpses, though, perhaps they still have the offer letters on them. Find the offer letters and you'll be able to decide who's got the juiciest rewards. Or, if you don't want to mess with the guilds at all, you could always just sell them on to me. I'll give you 1,000 gold minus my finder's fee.
1,000 gold each, right?
No, 1,000 gold. It's a generous sum for everyone altogether. What are you trying to rob me?
No, like, I would totally never try to rob you. I just think that it's like, you know, there's like a few of us, so it's like that many times the reward, you know, and it's like that much times the danger. So I just think it's like the right thing to do, and I think like we totally deserve it.
Fair.
Very fair. Like,
I think you deserve more money for yourself.
Well, absolutely.
Right.
I mean, I just think that,
Yeah.
you know, this is going to be like quite an adventure and difficult and like, you know.
All right, so I love what
curious
you're
about
doing.
the finder's fee. How much is your percentage?
I love what you guys are doing here. So what we're trying to do now is actually going to be our first roll of the game. It's going to be a talk check. So you are attempting to get more money out of Marcus. Now, this may not be the easiest roll you make all game, but you can do it. Morgan, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to let you talk about the overall total. And Zehra, I like that you came in asking him specifically about the finder's fee. So here's what we're going to do. Morgan, I want you to roll first. And you're going to roll your D20 down there, and you're going to add +3 to it because it turns out, like No, our assassin, is really good at fast talking. So you're you're +1 on your talk.
Yeah.
Not as good at talking as shooting. That makes sense. So roll a D20 +1. You rolled a 3.
Oh.
Okay.
He does not appreciate my accent, and that is like totally fine. Whatever. I don't even care.
Yeah,
I'm not going to do this the whole time. Don't worry.
I don't make deals with Outlanders with funny talking voices. I know good for you, but you wanted to know, and he looks over at Maya. You wanted to know about the Spinder's fee, eh? So,
Well, yeah.
you go ahead and do a talk check. So you roll a d20, and we're going to add +1 to it.
Okay.
And let's see how this goes.
Oh,
Even
a
better,
2.
honestly. Even
Maybe
better.
we should stick with the shooting and not the talking.
I thought this was a game about economics.
You're pretty bad at talking, aren't you? Says Marcus. No deal, but maybe you should look around for the other letters and find out if they're going to give you more money, because I'm going to double your finder's fee now.
Oh.
Oh, boo.
Maya, whatever you tried to say to Marcus, unfortunately, it was not the right thing to say to him before his coffee in the morning, and he looks pretty surly about that. So, anybody else want to try anything? So let's just explain where we are really quick. Marcus has given you what is going to be the quest for this adventure. Ultimately, you need to find the wizard's wand. If you were listening to his little speech there, he also told you that there are other guilds, which are equivalent to gun manufacturers in Borderlands, the big game. The other manufacturers, the other guilds, are also giving offers for that. Now, their offer letters are scattered somewhere around town, found on the corpses of the dead guild members. So obviously, we're going to go hunt for that a little bit. Or you tried first to talk to Marcus, and he's not going to budge. So we'll have a chance to do that in a second. But before you can even have a conversation, you hear there's a kind of a closed door in a back room here in Marcus Munitions, and you hear the sound of glass breaking, and then bumping and thumping and some muttering of voices. And Marcus starts kind of muttering under his breath and goes, "Oh no, sounds like my dire rats are back again. What could be better than to start an adventure than shooting a bunch of rats? So why don't you get in there and shoot my rats for me?" And he points to the door in the back.
I mean, it is classic.
Every RPG needs to start with rat shooting, right?
is this unskippable? Is there a way to go straight to the Wizarding Wand, or do these rats gotta go? Because we'll shoot the rats if you really need us to.
No, rats got to go. If you want to do any business with Marcus, you need to shoot my rats right now.
Let's kill some rats.
Sweet.
But you all have guns, fortunately, and this is going to be a great chance to take a look at how gunplay works in Bunkers and Badasses. So I'm gonna move you as you go to the back room over here. By the way, who went through the door first? Axton, you were talking about being ready for gunplay. Were you the one that barreled through the door, or how does it work? What's our order?
Axton is a simple soldier fueled by loss that haunts him and basically wants to get the mission on with. So I think, yeah, he was probably first through the door.
And since Axton burst through, you came through this door kind of over here on the left. And you come in here, and sure enough, you have interrupted a group of bandits that have broken through a back window and are rummaging through the storage crates of the magical wands that shoot magical projectiles, aka guns, and they are robbing Marcus. I wouldn't say blind, but each of them have a couple of guns in their hand, and they all turn up and look at you as you come barreling through the door. And they all point guns at you and pull the triggers and realize the guns are completely unloaded and they can't do anything. So all of you are going to get a chance to have a round of firing your weapons before these guys are going to do it. Now, explain a little bit about what's going on in the scene here. If you see these little bookshelf crate-like looking things, those are about waist-high crates, and we'll provide some cover. So you can see we've got the two guys in the back corner. They're kind of behind cover at a distance. You guys are not in cover at all. You're open and exposed, having barged right through the door. Wonderful. But the two guys closest to you on the top left and the center of the screen are also open and exposed, and they're now frantically trying to really load your guns. So I'm going to put us all into combat. What we're going to do is I add everyone to the combat scene here. Is we're going to get you in a combat tracker. I think that did everyone there. And if you look up in kind of the top right of your screen, you'll see a combat tracker. And that will show, you should see a list of all the characters here. And on the right of that, you see the fun little white die icon on there. So what we're going to do is roll for initiative. Initiative will determine the order that you take your turns in. For the first round, so I'll go ahead and roll for all of the other dudes here. Yep, you can roll for yourself, and then it will automatically put us in an order, but they are all going to skip their turns at the beginning. So let's see, Axton and Maya, click your die, Maya, one last one there.
It's the crossed swords tab.
That's correct.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
Rolling. 1.
Oh, well,
You started with a 20 and a 1.
rolled with a plum.
Well, Zehra ready as ever, and Maya, I think you, I don't know, something distracted you in the room.
I'm still tying my shoes, apparently.
So, but you guys will all get an attack before any of these weird, totally fantasy bandits in the back here are start attacking you. So, Zehra, you get to go first. Now, on every turn, you can do multiple things. You can attack something. You can move up to your movement speed. You can drink a potion if you have one. You can throw a grenade. You can toss an item to a player. You can also take an extra attack or an extra move. So if you want to attack twice, you could. Now, if you take an extra attack or an extra move, you're going to give me, as the BM, a mayhem point. Mayhem points allow me to supercharge enemies so they can do special moves and other stuff. So, you can decide whether it's worth giving me more power or not. It's all up to you. So what would you like to do in opening up for our combat here?
Okay, so first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to dive behind here, this cover.
That is cover.
Yes, but I'm actually not going to shoot the person behind cover. I'm going to aim for our friend here in the corner, the close one.
All right, and he is 3 squares away, which is great for you because that means you'll get no additional penalties on your sniper rifle, because if it's below 3 squares, it's a minus. So what you're going to do is you're going to give us a combat roll. and you're going to add. Because a sniper rifle is not Zero, like No's favorite weapon. It's your favorite weapon, so you're going to be able to add your accuracy bonus on that, which is already +3. Your crappy sniper, also gets some additional bonus. I think another +3 on that, correct? So you're going to roll.
I have if range 3 plus accuracy is +3, but then the accuracy modifier for the crappy sniper rifle is -3.
Because it's a crappy sniper.
Because it's
so
crappy.
You're going to get an overall +3 because you're in your ideal range for it. So
which is just from my accuracy. Perfect. Love it. Roll my d20. So I roll a 12.
Roll a 12. So if you look at your crappy sniper card, your gun card there, and so it should tell you what happens when you roll a 12.
I roll 1d10 per, so I roll 1d10 in this case.
So you got one normal hit and no critical hits on that. So the sniper rifle rolls d10. So go ahead and roll that, please. Bam! We've got our first, I would say, blood drawn for the campaign. In fact, these guys have no shields. So you shoot him. He takes a shot right in the chest, and blood splatters out. So he's taken some damage. All right.
I'm not done yet.
Like no.
And that was this one, right? This guy right here.
So the crappy sniper rifle, even though it's crappy, I do get an extra attack.
Awesome.
Nice.
So I'm going to roll another d20 to see what I get.
Whoa.
So I get 20. So now I get 1 regular attack and 1 critical.
So you roll 1d10 and then roll 1d12 in addition to that.
So I will do 7 damage.
Plus.
Man.
Woo! 15 points of damage. All right. This guy, you swear you put a hole right through his chest, and it probably should have dropped him instantly, but something is keeping him standing up and staggering around, kind of coughing out blood. He's not dead yet, but he's in pretty bad shape.
I'm so offended that he's not dead. All right.
There might be shenanigans going on, but we'll get to that later. But good job. Like, you did a lot of damage to him. That was a amazing opening salvo. So, Axton, you're up.
Oh, great. So in the initiative in the combat tracker, new actor, does it go all of us then the enemy round? Is that how we're doing it?
Well, remember, they're all still playing with reloading their guns this first round. So the first round of combat, you're all going to get a free round of shooting at these guys.
Wonderful. All right. Well, I'm a trained soldier, so I should have known that, but I remember my training, and I'm going to split right, try to control the back of the room immediately. My movement is 5 squares. So I'm going to go and I'm trying to split cover here. So I'm ducking down behind this shelf or crate here, and I'm trying to get line of sight block from both dudes. And I am firing my crappy pistol at this guy in the corner.
All right. Now he is behind cover, so you're going to take a -3 at shooting him because he is trying to put the crate between you and him.
Okay, the accuracy mod on the pistols -4, so is it -7?
Yes, plus, but because pistol is your favorite part, you will get your personal accuracy, so that's +1, so it's only -6. So
according to my character sheet, my personal favored weapon is a combat rifle, isn't that right?
No, it's the pistol. Are you looking at, is it combat rifle on your character sheet?
It is on my soldier parkour paladin character sheet. Combat rifle is selected.
Okay, so let's give you both just for the fun for now. So I
would love that.
Let's do it. You're good at pistols and combat rifles.
All right, so that's a D20 -6.
Yes, 20 -6. Let's see how this goes.
That's a pretty crappy pistol.
But you know what? You rolled an 11. And because guns are awesome, you're still going to hit twice, right? If you look at your crappy pistol sheet, between 8 and 15, 2 normal hits. Now, you only do, actually, it's 2d4 per hit. So roll 2d4 twice. which is 9 damage on your -6 roll. So that's not bad for shooting a dude in cover. So he's going to take 9 points of damage. You get him again in the shoulder. He kind of whips back and he's, "Mommy, leave him alone!" He's yelling all sorts of weird stuff. You might have heard something about a meat bicycle there in the back or two. But what else would you like to do, Axton?
Well, last but not least, I just want to point out it has splash elemental effects on it. Does that do anything in this situation? Because I'm unclear on that.
So it is a Torg pistol, which means it has explosions. If there were enemies in the squares around him, they would take additional damage. Strangely, the weapons chest that he's pulling guns and other things from doesn't explode from the explosion just yet. So you got lucky with that. We're gonna, a good lucky explosion shot. Maybe it's magically enchanted. I don't know, something like that. But yeah, normally if the enemies were together, the other one would take some additional damage around it, radial damage when you hit him.
Understood. Last but not least, I'll yell, "For Zehra!" And then my turn's done.
Salvador, how are you going to follow that? What are you doing, Dave?
All right. Here's what I'd like to do. What I'd like to do is skate up here and body check this guy right into the wall.
Okay, so you're gonna go up and do a melee attack on him. So it's gonna be a body check. I don't think you have a different special thing for a body check, but
I don't think so.
Your melee is pretty good. You're pretty beefy dude, and so you're gonna go up and do a melee. Yeah, you're welcome. A melee attack roll. So go ahead and move your character up next to the guy you're attacking.
All right, here we go. And what I'm going for here, Randy, is a knockdown. Can I do that? Is that a thing I can do? Knock him right on his ass.
Yeah,
intensely.
Let's just do it as a melee check. So what you're going to do, and this is great because you're going to get a bonus on the roll on that. So it'll be a D20 plus 3.
D20 plus 3. Here we go. Did it roll? Oh no. Yeah.
Yeah.
There she blows.
Well, it's a 10.
It's a 10. Fortunately, that hits. So he's already kind of trying to wipe off the gushing blood left by light-nosed sniper shots that have left him mostly without blood and chest. So you knock him down to the ground, and he's still twitching a little bit, but you kind of body check him in the corner, knock him down. He slumps down there. There's a blood trail on the wall. So
love that.
Looks like he's all but out. Something is still keeping him twitching and moving enough, and you're probably just as frustrated as our assassin at not having been able to just mash him into pulp, which is, I think, your intent, right? That's all the intent.
My intent was to not. I mean, it was going to be a two-parter. I don't know if I can get away with this. But the two-parter was I was just gonna slam him into the wall and then take a shot at this cat right over here.
Okay,
I don't know if that's too much for a turn.
No, in fact, let's go ahead and introduce one of the coolest mechanics in here, because what you're really trying to describe, kind of this kind of paired cool charge and shot maneuver. You're a badass, and you're about to do a badass move. So badass moves are, of course, one of the things that all the characters have. Generally, you can use the move once per encounter or once per game, Dave. And basically, Dave, it's just like what you did. You described kind of narratively what you want to do, what the badass thing you're going to do, and then you're going to roll a badass die, which is, remember, we put that on your macro bar down at the bottom in a second. Now, before you do that, before you roll, that's what you're doing. So you're slamming this guy into the wall while taking a shot with your shotgun, right? You've got a shotgun?
Yes, sir.
At the guy to your right, who I believe is just, the shotgun range is 4. No, he's in range, so that's awesome. You can definitely try that. You're doing that. Any other flavor you want to put on that move before we do the badass roll?
Yeah, what? Intensely, because I'm a gunzerker, right? So intensity is part of I get a bonus for being intense on something.
Absolutely.
What's it called? What's it called? Intense. I start intimidating those around me as soon as the first stubble of my beard showed up.
So that's
been a
normally
minute.
That's normally in a talk check, but you know what? I tell you what.
It's all right.
You're taunting this guy.
I'm not saying. Yeah, like I'm not saying I need to use the check. I'm just saying the guy is intense. So let it be known to all of those viewing at home that everything I do very intensely. Right?
I am
So it's a little like
intensely.
this. Look, I should get real close and be super, really intense. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna roll up on this dude. I'm just gonna check him right into the wall. I did a really impressive kick you couldn't see there. See that even. And then like a slow motion John Woo Doves gunshot blast to the guy down the thing. If I could be super badass, a couple of those bullets could go through him, through the bookshelf, into the guy in the corner.
Okay.
That's too much.
If
That's
you-
too
I
much.
tell you what,
For the rest of us,
You roll.
Salvador.
But
I'm crazy and intense.
here's the cool thing. Not only do you get to be badass, but because Maya has not yet done her thing this turn, she still has a combat action and has a chance to join you if she would like in your badass move. Maya, you want to do that, or you want to save all your mojo for your own special moment?
Well, I love helping others, so I look up from tying my shoes. They're on tight, and I am ready to assist my
Okay.
comrade. What can I do?
Something flippy and impressive. You know.
So you can do anything you imagine. Like you can jump over a crate and punch a guy in that. You could phase bubble someone into a wall. You can throw your gun at. I mean,
Okay.
whatever you can imagine. Badass moves really are designed to be any imaginative cool thing you can think of that your brain can come up with in combat.
I know that I'm really swift. That's one of my traits. So I would like to rush one of these guys and shoot them with my crappy SMG.
All right, which guy do you want to shoot? The one kind of up here, top middle?
Either him or the one in the corner we haven't done anything to the guy in the upper right corner, right?
Yeah, so here's what we'll do. I'll let you move during your badass move here. I'll let you move up to 3 squares.
Oh, okay.
Your normal movement. You're being a badass, so you can move yourself wherever you like to go. Now, what is the range? You may want to. Okay, it's a 5 square range on your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you'd be out of range of this guy in the corner
Yeah.
if you move there.
Okay.
So you would need to move like somewhere over here to be able to do that.
Will 3 get me there from my original position? I think it's 4. 1, 2.
You know, it's a badass move, so I'll give you another. You're going to use your. So normally in the game, you would have a badass token, right? And we can accrue these as almost like an extra little currency you make. And normally you would need to spend. Now you all start with 1, and normally you would spend a badass token to be able to do your badass maneuver. So I can as the BM, I can give you a little bit more license around the rules because you're spending a token to do something super cool in this moment, right? So we're going to let you do that. That puts you in range. So while Salvador is shoulder checking this guy in the wall and in the coolest, most possible, intense way possible, shooting the dude here in the middle with a shotgun, you're running up past them and also shooting the guy in the corner. And if it really works out well, you're both gonna damage like 3 of the enemies in this room. So this is pretty cool. Okay,
Awesome.
so you're really moving a lot. You're trying to hit a lot of guys. I'm gonna give you a badass. So the number that you're gonna need to roll is together is 22. All right. Now here's what happens. You're both gonna roll your badass die, and we're gonna add the results of both of those together to see if you succeed or fail. So if you'll click on your badass die down there, we'll see the result in chat and find out what happens.
Here we go.
It's a 12 and a 3. You know what? I didn't see that 3. That totally. I don't know what happened. Did you?
That was a glitch.
I think something aired out. Why don't we try again, Zehra?
All right, Maya tightens her laces one more time and rolls. A 16.
Oh.
That's a better roll. That's a 28 altogether. So you guys have done great. Okay, so here's what happens. The guy in the corner You crush him. He slumps to the corner in a heap. He's kind of gurgling and all that, but you're pretty sure he's not going to last much longer. Dave, I need you to go ahead and roll damage on your shotgun for the guy here in the middle.
That's going to be a 1d8. Oh wait, do I need to roll an accuracy check?
Nope, because you did this as part of a badass move. So I'm going to count that as you already rolled the hit. You're a badass. When you do something badass, you don't have to roll the hit. You just roll.
Come on. All right, so let's see. I'm rolling a 1d8. Is there a modifier on that? Any modifier on that?
You're not in range 2 or less. If you're really close with the shotgun, you would get a little damage bonus. So no, you just get a 1d8 on this one.
All righty. Here we go. 1d8 coming up. We're rolling.
7. Solid roll. All right.
Well.
And you didn't quite roll high enough for those pellets to penetrate all the way through the guy in the back like you wanted. You're pretty
boy can dream.
I was really looking for something north of 30 for you guys together to really do that. So a pretty good attempt. Okay, and Maya, since you've gone ahead and expended your badass point and have done that, I'm going to let you make with the SMG.
My crappy SMG.
With your crappy SMG, I'm going to let you make an average roll. So you're going to get 3 hits with this. Now here's the fun thing. You roll 3d4, but because you have a fire crappy SMG, and this guy is completely unshielded and bare-chested, fire is going to do double damage to bare flesh.
Ooh.
Not like bare flesh, like but bare flesh, as in not wearing a shirt. Okay, so go ahead and roll 3d4 for me.
D4, rolling. 9.
So 9 times 2 is 18. Wow, that's a great roll. So this guy, you are able to do exactly what you wanted there. You bear down on him. SMG rounds flying out of there. He takes 3 hits. He catches on fire. He's screaming, spinning around the corner, trying to pat himself out. And he doesn't look great. He doesn't drop yet, but man, he is now crispy. All right.
It's like the end of Midsummer all over again.
Speaking of bearing down on someone.
Oh, ayo.
Whoa.
All right. So these guys, so the end of the first round is over. So we're going to go to the next round. And basically Marcus sticks his head through the door and says, these guys want refunds. No more refunds. And he closes the door and locks it behind him. You're now locked in the room with these guys. So before they get an action, Zero, because like no, so I have to remember our great name here. Like no, before they get to do anything else, you're going to get one more combat turn. What would you like to do? Oh, by the way, sorry, back up just a second. Because David, because you and Zehra succeeded on your badass check, Dave, you can mark on your character sheets. You get 4 badass tokens. Zehra, you get 2 badass tokens. Now, these can be used later to do another badass move. You can spend one to do that, or at any time you make a die roll for anything, you can spend spend a token to add +1, and yes, you may spend multiple tokens at the same time. So if you really want to succeed on something, you can spend those badass tokens as points to make yourself better. So, all right, Morgan, what's up?
Okay, so how am I feeling about these guys who aren't really going down? Do I know anything about that?
You're pretty pissed, but I think the one in the corner, you're pretty sure he's not going to stand back up. The one here in the middle of the room, he's looking pretty good. He's a little angry. He's kind of trying to brush off the shotgun pellets, and he's almost got his gun reloaded. You think he's going to shoot. The one in the corner is still on fire, very, very distracted. And the one in the back corner, the action shot, is pretty hurt, but he's kind of got his gun loaded. You think he's about to come up shooting as well.
Okay, so I'm going to go for my friend here behind the 2 bookcases. Can I ping it? Yeah.
Yep.
I'm going to go for him. And then I think that I can use a skill point to get a headshot if I hit?
So, okay, those are skills, and we'll get to those a little bit later. You currently don't have that train. Just like in the big Borderlands games, you can eventually earn skill points that can use to add to additional skills to your character to customize them the way you want. You haven't spent a skill point in that yet, so sorry, no dice.
All right, was giving it a shot. All right, I'm just gonna then go ahead and shoot.
All right, so it's he is. Yep, there you go. 4
So
plus
that's 7, so that is 0. I basically miss.
You miss. All right, now, if you would like, you can give me a mayhem point and take another shot at him.
Well, I'm going to use my other shot. I'm not ready to raise the mayhem just yet.
Okay. Use your second shot. Go ahead and give us a roll for that.
But I am going to raise mayhem at some point. This one's going to be good. I can feel it. Yes.
Yes.
16, so I get 2 shots, basically. I get the D10.
So you roll your is that a D10 and a D12, right? Because it has a critical in there as well,
Yep,
correct?
so I got a 9. And then do I add my damage modifiers to make that a 10?
Yes.
One. Okay, cool. So that's 10 damage. And then I will roll my D12 for my crit. So 4 plus my damage, which is 5.
So you're going to get 15 additional points of damage on this guy right here, right? Is the one that you were shooting?
Yes.
Okay, you do drop him to the floor. You didn't quite get a headshot, but let's just say, a round went cleanly through vital organs, and he drops down. He twitches once and then satisfyingly doesn't move again.
Perfect.
All right, so I'm actually, let's see, I'm going to use, watch this, I think I can do a little, this dude, he is...
Die.
He is dying.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's their turn now. So in the bottom right corner here, Axton, your guy kind of you remember you used that explosive round, and it didn't cause the chain reaction you want. This guy stands up, he reaches into the chest and pulls out this big block-like lump of explosive. He has a mask on, so you can't tell the expression that he's making on his face, but you gotta imagine that he's grinning at you. He turns a dial on it and plunges his fist down in the chest, and it explodes. And it sets off a chain reaction, blowing up every chest in the room, which is magically, hermetically sealed to contain explosions, and you all die.
Hey, my bad, guys.
So
We're on loading screen right now.
So there is a loading screen, and there's a tunnel of light. But strangely, and here's the cool thing about this game: death is not permanent in this tabletop game. You all wake up, and we're back in Brimstone now. And instead of standing in Marcus's shop, you are all standing waist deep in this flaming cauldron called the Brew You Cauldron. You have just respawned, and you kind of pat yourself down. Your shields are okay. Your health is okay, but you have just suffered a little bit of a trauma. So there's 2 things that happen when you respawn. First off, everybody see your gold totals on your character sheet. I think you all have 120 gold.
Yeah.
You all lose 10% of your gold. But in addition, and this is my fun part, this is where I get to come in, you've all suffered a trauma. And traumas, there's a bigger table. We're going to use a limited table for rolling. Traumas are cool things that happen when you die that could be anywhere from a temporary short-term effect to something that might affect your character longer. So you do want to avoid death, but death isn't permanent. You can come back and keep going again with a little bit of a penalty. So I'm going to roll on for each of you on the trauma table over here, and we'll get the results. Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry. This is Salvador. This was your result on the trauma. It did go to the chat. There it is. So your trauma is catch a phrase. You are now desperate to populate. So I'm going to need a catchphrase from you, and you're going to need to use this catchphrase for the rest of the session as often as you can.
That's the candy.
That is the
Didn't even
candy.
have to think about it for very long at all. Yeah, they're ready.
That's great. Okay, that's you, Salvador. Let's see. I'm gonna pull you across. Okay. Next, let's go to like no, and let's see if I can roll on the trauma table for you here. You also catch a phrase. So haven't spoken a single. Well, you've spoken a little bit, but we need an appropriate Valley Girl catchphrase.
That is like totally not the candy.
Negating the previous catchphrase.
That's rough.
Okay, so we've got 2 catchphrase rolls. This is going to be interesting.
4 for 4. 4 twos in a row. Let's do it.
Let's go for it. Let's see what happens with you, Axton. I'm rolling now for Axton.
Show me trauma.
Oh, okay. No, you are going to be stumbly for the rest of today's encounter. So -1 on any talk and traverse check. So just remember that. Anytime that you're
That's my main deal.
you develop both a stutter and a stumble. All right, and last but not least, let's see what happens to Maya. Maya, where have you gone? Oh, you're still up by the gate. I'm going to drag you down here by the cauldron.
Yeah. Oh, I was wondering where everyone was.
Yeah, there you are.
Yeah.
And let's see what happens to you. You also catch a phrase. All right. There were actually 8 different options, and I'm rolling well today. So you're going to get. So you need a catchphrase too now.
I want a catchphrase.
You
Give it
try.
time.
You stutter through it.
How about them apples?
Candy apple.
That is like totally not the candy.
Candy apple.
All right. So you have helped Marcus out, presumably. He is still somewhere puttering around inside Marcus' munitions. You've survived your first death, which is a weird thing to say, but that's how death works. And you've noticed that in the time it took you to explode yourself in the room with the bandits, the city has now come to life. The sun has come up. The things that pass for birds are screeching horrifically through the air. And there are a number of lights that turn on around the city. And you notice that there are now some townsfolk milling around. So there are a couple of people walking here and there. And there are a couple of notable buildings that you can now see in the area around you. Way up, if you kind of, let's see, if you use your mouse button, you can kind of, or you can, I think is it plus? Yeah, plus and minus keys on your keyboard if you have it. You can scroll out and probably now see some of the broader city map. To the north of you, there are junked buildings all around. The one way almost directly north to you, kind of in this direction from where you are, way up here, is a burnout husk of a building that you can vaguely make out the sign that you think once read Town Hall, but it's basically burnt to a crisp. To the right of that is another, looks like a building that's a dwelling. And to the right of that, where you see some lights, is what you think is a guardhouse near a gate. A sign has lit up where you see the neon light kind of flashing way to the northwest. And you can just barely make out a sign that says, if I consult my notes correctly here, and I will tell you what the sign says. It says, sorry. It doesn't say sorry.
What a polite sign.
It is a very polite sign. Moxie's Grog. So you, and then way over kind of to the western side of the town, you can just make out what looks like some kind of chasm broken into the ground, and across that a ramshackle hut with, you can barely see it, it's way in the distance, but it looks like an old woman in a rocking chair just kind of quietly rocking there in the morning. Now, the blue circle in the middle of the square up here, if you see, I'm gonna go ahead and move you guys up kind of to the middle so we can be a little bit more in the middle of town here. Right? And that should give you some more visibility for things. There's a couple other points of interest, and then we're going to turn it over to you to decide where you want to go. That is what I would love to describe as a marble, beautiful, blue gurgling fountain. It is not, in fact, any of those adjectives. It is a pieced together, rough-hewn stone. It looks vaguely phallic. You're not sure what's going on with it. And rather than beautiful blue water that should be spurting from it, it's kind of gurgling a brown gloop down into the base of the fountain. And you're pretty sure from where you are right now, you can see an unmoving body laying across the edge of the fountain with its head probably under the water. Now, on the other side of the fountain, you'll notice on your maps, you see a strange pink scrawled thing. It does, in fact, appear to you to be a building in the shape of a giant butt. So, the adventure is now yours. You have a great moment here to do whatever you would like to do. So, where would you like to go next?
I would like to poke the dead body in the fountain and see if he's got anything in his pockets.
That sounds like a great place to start. So, go ahead and move your person over by the fountain, and I will tell you what that.
I'm
looks
trying to be
like.
like stealthy and classy about it. I'm just like, just check it out.
Like No, our assassin steps up to the fountain boldly, and again, it's a gurgling, ugly, and it is in fact a dead body face down in the muck of the fountain. So, Morgan, now what we need you to do? You wanted to kind of look at it, right? You want to actually touch the body? You want to touch the butt?
Yeah, I want to see if there's anything in the pockets.
All right, so it's an interact check. So roll a d20 and add your interact bonus. Interact is anything that we do something with our hands. Ooh, that is excellent. Really great. Okay, so you rolled so great that you start to kind of poke around and you look into the clothes and all that, and you realize very suddenly with your keen sense of perception that there is a clumsily rigged grenade trap under here. There's a grenade, literally the pin is like tucked on a button of the pocket, and you haven't set it off, and you're pretty sure with that roll that all you need to do is just pull the grenade out of the pocket and it'll be fine.
Oh, so like I could have a grenade?
If you want to try to pull the grenade out of the pocket? I'm going to say this is the creepiest voice ever.
And I'm pretty sure I can pull it out.
Yeah, you can. So yes, okay. And you're gonna get a grenade. So you can write down on the side. You get it. You get the first grenade, and we're just gonna call it for now mystery grenade.
Oh, about them apples.
Perfect. But it's totally like not the candy.
That's the candy.
Secretly inside, I know that Salvador has a better catchphrase than me, and I'm like super insecure about it. So I'm just gonna like kind of repeat mine, try like more, just to make it catch on.
Very, very appropriate.
But I'm actually like really jealous of his catchphrase.
All right, so you pull the grenade off of him and stick it in a pocket somewhere, and you do notice that when you do, that he's got something stuffed in his mouth. I'm
gonna take it out. What could possibly go wrong?
what could possibly happen here? So you pull out what looks like a little stone object that's a cylinder with a little branch on. In fact, it is a carved stone log. It looks like literally like a log you put in a fire, but it's about 3 inches long. And on the ends are magically etched runic symbols. And when you pick it up, the runic symbols flare to green life, and from the little kind of cut off branch on there, it projects a magic image up in the sky, and you see what you presume is the mustachioed face of the guy that is now dead in the fountain. And it starts talking, and the little projection says, "Oh crap! If you're hearing this, I'm probably dead. My tummy hurts something fierce. I think I got food poisoning from that mobile skag kebab salesman, or it's that other thing I ate. But don't worry about that. I lived a good life, full of explosions, make-outs, and post-make-out cuddling. If you're a badass vault hunter who wants to help our Lord Torg, just search my body for the offer letter. Kent, you may have to get nasty." And it collapses back in on itself. The recording stops playing, but you're pretty sure that if you needed to play again, you could just hit it again and play it again. So you now have a magical echo cast log that can play the last words from our Mr. Face Down on the Fountain guide.
Does anybody have any hand sanitizer on them? Because I feel like there's some germs there.
Yeah, I can cauterize your hands clean with fire.
Just hold it up and spray it with the SMG. That works every time. And if you fail, you'll just show up in the New York cauldron again with more trauma. It's going to be great. What are y'all doing?
Well, I was wrong before. That's definitely the candy.
I'm just jealous.
I mean, I'd
So
love
good.
to stick around and discuss this note and this message, but I'm feeling myself strangely just drawn, just gravitating toward the building shaped like a butt. I don't know how to explain it. Something otherworldly.
Okay, so you're gonna make your way over towards the giant butt.
Like a monkey at the monolith. I'm walking toward the butt, just like.
All right. Well, does anybody else want to do anything else to the dead body in the fountain? I mean,
Yeah. There's two things I want to do. Well, one, can I throw a gold in the fountain?
you can absolutely throw a gold in the fountain.
Nice. I do so.
Okay, your beautiful coin flips end over end. It bounces off the surface of the near solid water 2 or 3 times, and then finally sticks, and then slowly glugs into the fountain and out of sight.
Ooh.
Like the. How about them apples?
That's pretty nasty. You probably don't want to drink that water.
It's
3 coins in a fountain.
Secondly, so the letter must be on this man's corpse, and he mentioned in his last message that he ate something that maybe killed him. Should we check his stomach?
Ass
We
map.
probably should.
Guy clearly has an ass map. I've
Okay.
seen 3 Kings. I know how it goes.
So you're gonna search him. Where do you want to check on him?
I mean, I feel like I need to put on some rubber gloves and just get in there. Can I check in his mouth? Or wait, did we look in his mouth already?
You did. You pulled the log out of it. Here's what you can do. You're Maya, the phase lock siren. So you essentially cover your hands with phase energy, which
Yes.
will be rubber gloves for you. There you go. And you're now going to go to work on this poor man in the disgusting fountain. When you flip him over, you see this kind of strange square shape poking up from the skin in his tummy. It's like something is inserted under the skin.
One have a knife?
Like
You
no, have
all
a
have-
samurai sword, I believe.
You all have basic knives, and yes,
Man.
Zero does have a sword. A legendary sword, in fact.
Well-
No.
Just slice. Well, okay, first thing I'm going to do is say,
Yes.
maybe we should all try to back up a little bit, because I'm like... So, I'm going to take
Smart.
a step back, maybe, and then I'm going to use my sword, and I'm just going to try to slice on top of where that square is.
All right, you are the master of the sword, so I'm not going to require a roll to slicing in non-moving corpse. And your sword is the blade. It is the blade of legend. So you easily slice right along the edge of this weird square indention on the guy's tummy, and you open it up, and his whole belly kind of pops out and pops open. Probably had death gases stored in there, and you see 2 things. One, the edge of a grotesque fluid-covered letter does pop out, and then you see kind of under a weird little box about the same shape as the letter that he apparently ate. You're not sure how he got it through his mouth. It's bigger than his mouth, but he definitely swallowed a box.
That
How
sword
about
looks
them
handy.
apples?
Can you julienne with that thing?
You want to do what now?
I said the sword looks really handy. Can you julienne with that thing?
Absolutely. I'm going to, I guess,
corpses, though. It's creepy as hell.
so there's 2 objects. So I guess I will pull out the 2 objects and place them on the side of the fountain so we can all look at them.
All right, so one is certainly a letter, and if you look really carefully on the outside, you notice the label Lord Torg on the outside of the letter. And the box also has a stylized, very bold T on it.
Org.
So it seems like we have to return this item to the Lord, or let's
peep that letter.
Would you like to read the letter?
I think that's
Yeah.
the offer letter, yeah.
So you open up the letter, and in weird scrawling text, here's what the letter says. If you're reading this, the clock is ticking. Last thing anybody needs is another legendary wand effing up the meta. Once you're sure you found the bunker with the wizard's wand in it, I will pay you to blow the F up using one of these grenades. Lord Torg. Postscript, seriously, the clock is ticking. So, the offer letter, it's one of the 5 offer letters that Marcus was talking about. And basically, Torg wants you, when you find the wizard wand, to blow it up with one of these grenades.
Okay.
Safe to assume that box is full of grenades.
Yeah.
You're going to open the box and look inside?
Oh. Take a peek.
Sure. You've been wiping some of the vitriol off the box and the gore and stuff. You open it up and it's actually a beautifully like velvet molded container for 3 grenades. And they are Torg grenades. There are 3 Torg Merv grenades in here. So you have 3 grenade mods that you can spread around with everyone, and basically you will be able to throw them. They'll do. They will start by doing 1d4 grenade, and then they will each split into 3 other grenades, each part which does 1d4. So Merv, they'll blast out. So you can split those 3 grenades among the party however you would like, and don't forget that you also have the mystery grenade.
Sweet.
All right, while you guys are sorting through grenades and deciding how you want to divvy up the loot, Salvador boldly approaches the butt.
If I had a dime.
I'd throw it at this giant butt.
So Dave, tell me what Salvador's doing here. So you get closer to the butt. Now let me give you a little bit more description here as you approach it, because there's a little bit more to see.
What I'm doing is walking toward it. It's a giant butt, and in my head, it could be coming from Claptrap over the thing that's not a phone. But in my head, I hear a choir of angels singing as I approach the butt building.
All right,
I feel like heaven dwells within.
It is in fact a big building shaped like a butt, and there's a sign now right next to a door that is placed exactly where you would figure a door would be placed in this, right in the anus. And there's a sign next to the door that says "Fart Room."
That's very interesting.
Fascinating.
The fart room over here, everybody. If anybody needs that.
I mean, like, I'm totally on my way.
I mean, what happens in the fart room? It can't just be that simple, right?
I'm just hoping it's a bar. I mean, it is like 8 a.m. right now, and we have not had like anything to drink. I'm just saying.
It's true. They may have beverages. For whether it's a bar or no, there may be beverages.
We're pretty sure that the neon flashing sign with Moxie's grog, behind you across from the fart room, it's probably the most likely building in here to be a tavern. But I mean, if you want to see what's in the fart room, I mean, it's your choice.
It's not very smart.
Yeah, I mean, clearly, I think we've come this far. So
we've come this far.
Yeah, I think.
Careful,
Salvador. You seem like the guy to scout it out. I think.
Let's check it out. I'm gonna pop that door wide open.
Okay, so
I'm
everybody
gonna say that's the candy.
Axton backs up.
Everybody, move your tokens to where you're gonna be while Salvador opens the fart room door. Oh, 0. I love it. Loyal to the end.
I guess I should put myself right about there.
Hang on, I can't find me. Hang on, I'm trying.
Right in the meat of the cheek, 0 goes.
I am going to hug this cheek right here because I don't want to be too close to the smells.
Okay, so Salvador, you're just gonna rip open the door?
Pop her open.
Okay. So you open the door, and not unsurprisingly, the building emits a giant fart. Here's what I need for you and Zero, who are both standing in the blast radius. I'm gonna need you to give me a traverse roll to see if you're able to dodge out of the way in time.
Oh.
That's gonna be a 5.
It's good. Okay. You did not dodge out of the way, Salvador. Let's see if you did any better.
So I'm taking a look at. I've got a trait called Lightfoot. Even with my short stature, I can still throw myself over a rock with ease. But can I throw myself over a fart with ease?
You can. It is a +5 on your traverse, so you get.
It's a vaulting traverse check.
You're gonna get a +7 to your traverse roll here.
Hey,
so
that's what we like.
Let's see how you do.
All right.
27. Come on.
That's a 10.
Halfway there, buddy.
Yeah, that's a 10.
But
I've been farted.
Because you were bold enough to open the door, I think you were ready. So here's what happens. You go to open the door, you open up, and something in your intuition kicks in, and you jump out of the way. Unfortunately, leaving Lycno, our assassin, who is just starting to peer over your shoulder, to catch the full brunt of the fart right in the face. Morgan, Lycno, unfortunately, is now going to have a fart smell on you for the rest of our campaign. Maybe somehow there is a way you can find to get it off of you, but you smell awful, and it's not going anywhere. But eventually the gas in the courtyard does dissipate, leaving you the only smelly object there. Salvador stands up and brushes himself off, and if you look through the door, you see inside basically a 10 by 10 square chamber with another door.
Oh.
I want to meet the psychopath who built this building and ask them why. Listen, I want the team to feel good about this, because if we've learned anything so far, it's that this town is not into irony. So, it's all very literal here.
Smell like fart. So,
I mean, in for an inch, in for a mile, right?
that's what I'm saying. Like, it might as well be me to go.
Very noble of you, Lycno.
I got your back.
Zero, you're gonna Lycno, you're gonna go in and you're going to open the door. That's the second door.
Yes, there better be something amazing in here.
Okay, I need you to give me another traverse check, but this time go ahead and add another +3 to it because you're ready.
Okay.
You've been burned.
20 + 4. So this time, you clearly know what to expect. Sure enough, you open the door. Another massive fart is let out of the building, spraying the courtyard again. Salvador just kind of ducks out of the way, but you do it, and you look really cool, even though you smell really bad. You kind of do a quick pirouette out of the way, and as the gas again dies down from there, there's another 10 by 10 room with yet another door, but this door is a little bit different. This door actually has large glowing letters RB. Like rude badass on the door. That may not be what it stands for, but that's what there is. And it's, if you look at it, there's kind of weird pink emanating light coming from around the edge of the door.
Go on in. It's probably a dry cleaner's. This is all a gag. It's a dry cleaner's. Or
All right, I'll open it.
Okay. This time it does not fart. But when you open the door, you actually peer into a massive cavern. and your head now does this little spinny thing because you know that this building is not big enough to house this literally hundreds of yards across cavern that you should be looking into here. And in the middle of the cavern stands a 150-foot tall, fanged, tentacled, slavering, massive monster that turns around and looks down right at you and lets out a horrendous roar. What do you do?
Hey, hello? Anybody want to help me help out? Help a girl?
Maya is going to enter the butt, finally. She's going to help out her friends.
Axton's gonna stand at the first door that was opened and just shout in, "What's to be gained?" and then head over to the tavern.
Okay, so Maya running in to help your friend. What are you doing?
I'll try shooting.
Okay.
Actually, no, I'm gonna use my deception.
Oh, okay, smart. And you're gonna send the holographic version of yourself, or the mystical energy ghost version of yourself. Sorry, there's no holograms in Fantasy Pandora. So you're gonna send that running, and that's really smart. So it says, so this is an action skill. You can normally use it in combat in place of an attack, but you're gonna use it for out of combat. I love this. So you're gonna send this, and you become cloaked. You fade out of existence. You turn invisible. And where are you? Where is your ghost version going, and where are you going?
I'm gonna try to lead it away because I want to see if there's anything else in here. Like it's probably guarding something. So I'm gonna try to see if I can find, if it can distract, my ghost can distract it, and then I can try to find something that is in there.
Okay. So, and Salvador, before we figure out what happens here, what are you doing?
I'm gonna get up there and shadow Zero. Or I mean, who's wait, whose ghost version went up toward the?
Mine,
Okay.
ghost version.
All right.
Right.
So double no.
So three of you are entering the room here with the massive monster.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, so but you draw your gun. The ghost assassin runs off one way. You run in another, and basically before you can even get a shot off, this monster opens up this massive maw, super wide. And starts inhaling air, and air starts rushing through the door and sucking you all forward. I'm going to need all three of you to give me one more traverse check to avoid being sucked into the raid boss's mouth.
Axton's doing fine. Gonna get
Did I trigger this boss battle too soon?
Okay. Okay. And what happens with Salvador? Okay.
That's 20.
Good job. So Salvador goes, "Oh no," and you say your catchphrase.
That's the candy.
And
that is not the candy.
And you step back outside of the button around the corner and pressure yourself against the wall to keep it. But unfortunately, here's what happened. Ghost runs across the room in a straight line, shooting and making a lot of distraction, not at all perturbed by the wind that's sucking you in. Unfortunately, real No and Maya, who heroically came to the aid of No, are sucked into the raid boss's mouth and crunched, and you die. And seconds later, you wake back up in the cauldron in front of Marcus's munitions. And let's see really quickly what happens. Maya, you are now like Axton, also stumbling. So you'll have -1 on talk and traverse checks for the rest of the time. And No. Okay. Your trauma is now immersive. You must do your silly character voice, and if you ever forget to do your silly character voice, you take 1d6 damage.
Like even out of combat and stuff. Like, oh my god, this is gonna be like a super long game for everybody.
Fortunately, we are ending getting close to the end of this session now. Because we do want to try to keep this brief and keep it exciting for the players, I'm going to unfortunately have to step in and cut our exploration of Brimstone a little bit short. But you've had a couple of great encounters here, so as Maya and Light know are again scraping brew you cauldron juice off of them, and Axton comes back. By the way, with you've been to the tavern, you've seen Moxie. I guess you bought a drink, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I'm stumbling even more now, if you know what I mean.
So does it have an umbrella in it? Is there a little umbrella in your drink? Are you that guy?
Yeah, it shoots you in the eye when you. Everything is gun based.
The tankard that you have the drink in is shaped like a gun and maybe with a boot on the side of it. It has an umbrella out of it. So you're coming up sipping the straw out of this, and Salvador comes sauntering up. And about that time,
just say, "How'd it go in the giant butt?"
It didn't disappoint, man.
Not the candy.
It sounds like not the candy. How do you like them apples?
And there was like no candy in there, and like I don't think we have enough good guns yet to like kill that thing. So maybe we like come back later.
So my question is, after a resurrection, does Lycno still smell like farts?
Oh, good question. Or did the cauldron cleanse?
Getting molecularly reconstructed doesn't fix it? That's rough.
I smell like farts like in my soul.
It is definitely enchanted farts that you have encountered here, and you're gonna honestly, you just smell terrible. And while you're there at the cauldron, our fun little friend Wizard Claptrap rolls back up.
I'm moving my token as far away from Lycno as possible. Because
so Claptrap rolls up, and he looks from face to face and says, "I'm a robot, and even I smell that."
I just want to make sure everybody knows where I am at all times. It's like, when you put a bell on a cat, that's like me now.
So Claptrap says, "Hey, I feel an incredible sense to help you on your adventures since you spent all your time exploring nasty fountains and strange butts. I've heard many stories about the Wizard's Wand. It's
just another weekend,
Its origin, of course, is shrouded in mystery, apparently. It was the creation of a wise sorcerer, Ezekiel Coogan, though his motivations for doing so or making the wand are unknown. The wand itself is made out of pure gold, making it powerful and destructive, though the precise nature of that magic is unknown. It's been said that it lies in a bunker buried deep within a mountain lined with gold. That mountain, because we are short on time, is called Satan's Gumline, and it's due north of the city."
Let's go.
That's very valuable information, Claptrap. Why didn't you tell us this at the beginning?
I don't know.
He had an important couple of things on his schedule before he got to it, is all.
That's right. My important schedule. And so he says a couple other things about important schedule. He actually flares up his light again to remind you all that he can do that. And then suddenly he vanishes in a puff of smoke.
Like robots so often do.
So after a couple of days of traversing the ragged wilderness of Pandora, you find the mountain range that Claptrap described to you very verbally and very briefly, and you suddenly know that you are at the right place. Satan's Gumline. It's a series of jagged peaks on the mountain range north of the city. And you walk right up to an area called a big door in the round door in the side of the mountain that it can only be, as your inner sense is telling you, your destination, your fated destination and where you might be able to find the lost wizard's wand. So,
Vault.
what are you going to do at the door?
Oh, wait. Sorry. Wrong game.
I mean, I love opening doors. Love opening doors. So I can
Clearly.
Let's go.
Axton also has the Wayfinder skill with +5 on hidden doors search checks. I don't know if that's helpful in figuring out the mechanism by which it opens or anything like that.
I think that would be a great time to do that roll. Michael, why don't you roll that for us and give us, you said +10?
+5. Yeah. What die do I use for a door search?
It's a D20, and it is a search check. So I think you get a basic +1 and then an additional +5. So you get a +6 total on this roll.
Here we go.
Okay, 10, not bad. So here's what you find outside the door. You can find kind of buried under dust that's been set there for a while, or a set of damaged rails, and they look like some kind of mine cart or something was eventually leading in there, and they kind of curve into the door in doing that. So, but while you are looking at the rails, your head actually bumps a little button on the door. And a light turns green, and the dial starts spinning, and the door creaks open slowly.
Well, there you have it.
Well done.
As the door opens, you see that those rails enter into a darker cave, into a room just inside.
Shall we go into the room?
In we go. Do we need a light
source
or any kind of thing like that?
Well, that's a great
that sort of thing.
That's a great question. It turns out there are already some lights in the room in the form of torches. So let me pull you into our next little room here. So you guys are following the minecart tracks in there, and you go into a room and you see several things. Everybody see the Dahlia atrium room now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Totally.
All right. So it looks like that this has been abandoned in a hurry, and you notice a couple of things stand out. There's definitely some mine carts. There are some crumbled mine shafts. There's another shaft that leads outside the room down there to the bottom right corner down to the southeast. But it also strikes you that down there in the bottom left corner of the room are a series of skeletons. And these animated skeletons are picking up a series of guns, and they are adding them this massive pile of guns, and it looks like they're equipped with spears, but they're moving some guns and other junks and stuff around there. And they're down at the bottom. There is a blue skeleton. This one right here, a big blue skeleton that's larger than the other ones. And he's got a bow and arrows, and seems to be watching the move. And at the moment, they have not yet seen you. Now, also in the room, you'll notice just there as you walk in is a large red chest, a doll chest. Looks very much like a chest from an iconic shooter game that also has red chests. You're not sure what's in there, but you're sure it's pretty spectacular. And scattered around the room, there are a couple of other smaller chests that might be interesting to take a look at later. The only other feature I want to point out before I turn it back over to your control is there are two barrels down here in the bottom. The blue one has the etchings of a lightning symbol on it, and the red one has what looks like a little wick of flame on the side of the barrel. So, what would you guys like to do?
Feels like if we're sneaky, we can get these two chests, northernmost chests, right? Without any trouble.
You can certainly give a sneak check and try. Who's going to sneak at what?
I'll sneak to the red one.
All right.
Axton's heading over to the small chest. Sneakily.
Okay. So I need each of you to give me a sneak roll. So that's a D20 +2 for you, No, and a D20 +1 for you, Axton.
Can I do +5 as a silent sneak check?
You absolutely can. Yes, you are quiet. That is one of your traits. So that's a +6 total for you. You're very sneaky.
Not that sneaky.
Okay. And an 8. So here's what happens. Axton, so you had a 14 total there. So you really quickly go walking through there, and you're able to open up one of the smaller chests before anyone notices what you're doing. So I'm going to tell you what's in that. I'm going to do a roll back over here, just off camera. All right. You open up a chest, and in there are three more grenades, and these are just regular grenades, but they will do basic explosion damage, 1d4 in a radius around them. But you now have 3 more grenades. When you walk over to the red chest, you put your hand on it, you start to open it, and it literally is. It's been here for a while, and it's damp and dank, and it goes screech, and all of the skeletons turn around and stare at everyone. So we're gonna go into combat again, everybody. Oh wow! You were very distracted by the extremely rusty chest. But Maya, you're doing a little bit better. Only one of your shoes was untied this time. You also didn't like the sound of the chest. So let's see how attentive our skeletons are. Oh wow. Okay.
Oh wow.
Come on. Yeah.
So here we are. Here we go. Our skeletons are actually going to start out. I'm going to begin our combat, and skeleton 1 here is gonna start going. So the skeleton down here by the bone pile waves his spear at you guys. He goes, which is the classic skeleton sound, and decides he's going to start running at you. So he's going to take a movement, and he's going to move his 4 squares this way. And that's all he can do, because it turns out he doesn't actually have a ranged weapon, but he is running right at Axton, who's the first guy that he saw. So that's all for him. Next, the skeleton archer in the bottom right corner did not like that screechy sound. So he is going to move 1, 2, 3 squares. Let's see.
No.
6, 7. And you can see that he comes up and sights the bow and looks at Lycno and thinks about shooting, and then kind of shakes his head, and it seems that you might just still be a little out of range for even his bow. So he's done. So Axton, since you have a pocket full of grenades, which we all presume that's what that is, and you are definitely quiet and ready to go. What do you want to do for your turn? So
extend my move.
So you can extend your move, and by doing that, it's not quite a dash; it's just an extra move. So you take another move, and I get a mayhem point.
Yeah, but you'd get a mayhem. I knew it. What about what's the throw distance on these grenades, my friend?
Throw distance on a grenade is, I believe, 5. Let's say 5. I'll look it up and correct you on that, but let's give you that. It's a pretty good little throw. Not sniper range, but you can get a good lob on it. After all, you're a soldier type.
And then the range on the explosion, is it 1?
Yeah,
like
it'll be everything in a 1 radius. So you're not going to be able to hit the nearest 2 skeletons to you all at once.
Yeah, I really want that barrel, but it feels like it's out of my reach. Let's see. Is there any kind of badass wall run I can do to get me closer to that barrel? If I'm willing to give up a badass token, can I wall run and at a distance pistol this barrel? Is there any chance you'll give me that with a badass token?
You know what? If you want to do a badass move, I will let that happen. So you literally are wall running, which defying all rules of gravity and movement and game balance is going to let you move faster along the wall, putting you. Yeah, let's put you right. Yeah, along the wall. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's get you right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which will let you put drop a grenade if you want. If you get a good hit here, right next to the barrel, which might cause a chain reaction.
How about them apples?
Yeah. So Axel's gonna open up the combat with the badass move. Anybody want to jump in?
I'm so far away.
Yeah, your badass move would be running really fast. Maybe a Naruto run with your arms behind you, but I don't think you're gonna get range to do anything interesting.
Way over there.
Sorry. You be badass.
Use the natural echoing of the cavern to shout your catchphrase and potentially intimidate the skeletons to death.
Oh, I see Exton moving. That's the candy. So, do you want to use your combat turn that way and do spend one of your badass tokens and add that to a badass? A badass. You talked earlier. You've already established this. You're intense. So you're going to do an intimidate talk check on them while running at the skeletons, right?
Yes.
That sounds great. And shouting your catchphrase. Okay. Anybody else want to get on the crazy train?
Okay, well, so, but this counts as an act. I mean, can I just like, my plan, like just start running, send out my decoy, and then start running as fast as I can towards this guy?
So if you want to do that, I think it would just be your normal combat action. If you want to do something more creative, we can incorporate that in there. But badass, we really want to kind of get it, over the top.
Okay, be badasses.
Okay, so here go Axton and Salvatore, buddies. Salvador, buddies forever. So Axton, you are. I'm going to set a difficulty. So this is a pretty long distance to cover. I mean, you can't literally slip on this. But Salvatore, you're just using your natural Salvatorishness. And
5 squares. Everything moved.
So I will let you move. I will let you go ahead and move. Let's say it'll also count as a double movement for you without mayhem, since you're spending a badass token. I'll let you move 6 squares forward.
Sorry, you said how many squares?
6 squares forward from where you were. I think you were the very back of the camp. So
6.
Yeah, just at the end of the mine shaft. And now you are yelling, which is going to naturally, with your booming voice, echo in the cavern, and you're kind of trying to intimidate the skeletons who don't have ears, but we'll see how this goes. I'm going to give you guys a cumulative badass. You're going to need to hit a score of 25 or higher to both succeed at what you're doing.
Easy.
So
that's nuts.
Let's go ahead and get your badass rolls. Let's do it, dudes.
Here we go.
My cat jumped on my shoulder for luck. No, I blame my cat.
Oh, come on.
Okay.
I'm glad this happened at some point in the game, though. I want to know what happens.
Okay. No, this is great. So,
great.
Whew.
It feels great.
So, Axton, you do not, in fact, make it in range. I'm going to move you back. You slip and fall off the wall, literally on the first. You're going to do this super awesome wall run, and you can see it in your head, and you know how it's going to go. But it turns out the wall was a little bit wet. It's a little bit damp, and that is like the bane of your existence. So you're going to fall, and I'm going to go ahead and roll. You're going to take 6 points of shield damage. Luckily, you have a shield, so it doesn't bruise you yet. Your shield gets damaged before you take any health damage. And the way shield recharging works, by the way, is if you don't take any damage for a combat round, you will recharge your shield the value of your recharge rate, which I think is next year. I'm trying to see on your sheet where your shield is. You don't have a shield. Okay, everybody. Oh, yeah, 5. It's the recharge rate. You have a fixed 15 value on your shield. You've taken 6 points of damage. You're down at 9. Next turn, if you don't take any more damage, your shield will recharge 5 points. After the combat, your shield will recharge all the way back up. Health damage does not recharge back up. You need to rest or heal or other things like that to recover those points. Or drink a health potion, which none of you have. Whoops. All right. But here's the thing, Dave. You just squeaked off a success on your badass roll. So by the way, accident for attempting a badass roll and failing, you still get 1 badass token. So you're a net 0. You still have your badass token there, and you can live the badass again another encounter. No more of this encounter, but next encounter you can still do that again. Dave, Salvador shouts, and it's not the booming shout that you hoped for, but I will allow you to...
Voice cracked a little.
Voice cracked.
We're gonna get you guys! That was supposed to be cool.
And here's what happens. This back skeleton, who was next to the standing conveniently close next to the fire barrel, says, "Screw this!" and he goes and runs away and out of the tunnel, out of sight. So you have successfully scared him out of the room. So congratulations, you had maybe not the result you hoped for, but there was a result. So he's gone.
Try to be badass.
Hunt him down!
He was never cut out for it, that poor skeleton bastard.
All right, so now...
He's like, I'm on break.
The bones is their money.
Salvatore, you've already gone, so I'm going to advance to this skeleton buddy here, Mr. Skeleton, and he is also going to run forward 4 squares, and that's about all he gets. I'm going to put him there because he's running toward kind of the mass of everyone. All right, so Maya, who has now finished tying her shoe, what would you like to do, Maya?
I want to phase lock some of these skeleton bitches. Can I do that?
Yes, you may. So phase lock has a good range on it. I think in fact it doesn't say on your sheet, but it is let's call it a range of 8, which is going to put you in range of the nearest. It's going to put you in range of the 2 skeletons near the track here.
Okay.
But not Mr. Blue back here. Gotcha. So you're going to use your action skill instead of your combat. And what's cool about this is you don't have to roll because it's an action skill and it is just what you do. So which one would you like to phase lock?
I would like to phase lock the skeleton on that mine cart, please.
All right. So describe to me how you're phase locking that skeleton.
All right. Well, my arms, my body emits a blue, beautiful glow, and then he is surrounded in a ball of light, and he raises off of the ground, and he's stuck there.
All right. So a blue, not a dark, ugly brown, but a blue ball of light surrounds the skeleton here. I'm going to use this little symbol that appeared up there to mark that he is phase locked. Oh, here's a better one. That looks like a phase lock bubble right there. All right. So that skeleton is phase locked. So he's surrounded by blue glowing energy, lifted up off the, and he's now held there. And he's going to be held in place for 2 turns. So, yep, you effectively removed him from combat. Is there anything else that you would like to do? You've already used your combat. But you could still move or throw a grenade or, whatever you'd like to do there.
Oh, do I have a grenade? Did I get one of the grenades back at the fountain?
Did you get one? Yes, you did.
I think we 3 split them. Yeah. I would love to throw a grenade. Will it go as far as the blue guy down there? Or should I aim for the second skeleton on the rails?
No, the grenade will go 4 squares away. So that's the range on the Torg grenade mod. So here's what you can do. If you step forward one square, you can land a grenade between both the 2 skeletons at the end of the rail. And
let's do it.
It's a Merv grenade, so it's going to do a lot of damage. So
and it splits out 3 little guys, right?
That's right. Okay, so here's what's going to happen. Yeah, so the grenade is going to do explosive damage in the square that it lands. So go ahead and roll a 1d4 for damage for me. I'm not even going to do an aim roll because you're badass. You got it right where you wanted.
All right, 1d roll.
Oh, that's a great start. to begin with, the grenade's going to explode right there in between both skeletons, and they're both going to start by taking 4 points of damage, which is good. It won't kill them, but it definitely, you see a couple of pieces of bone fly off. All right. And now what happens? I need you to give me a 3d4 roll, because multiple other MIRVs, mini little baby grenades, bounce off this one and start just exploding all around that one in a cascade, and you're going to do 3d4 more damage to the skeletons around.
How about them apples?
So that is another 7 points of damage. I'm going to say that's going to hit both of the other skeletons. And they literally lose ribs and arms, parts of arms and hands and legs, but they're both still kind of standing and moving around, and they swish their spears around aggressively. But one of them's missing a jaw and the other one's missing its left hand, and they don't look very happy. But they're pretty much singed and exploded. All right. Anything else you want to do before Zero does something totally awesome, or sorry, Lycno? I'll get that right by the end of the session. Lycno does something amazing.
Like wave my nose a little bit and smell some of my essential oils, because the fart's still really getting to me from like.
I know, it's like you think you would get used to it, but you like totally don't.
No, you really don't.
No, it's kind of amazing. Now that I have totally caused all this havoc by opening this chest, I would like to see what is inside of it.
Okay, so
it's open already or no?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I'll let you go ahead and spend the rest of your turn opening it. You will do that instead of it's a good question. So here's what will happen when you do that. You'll still be able to do all your other things. You'll be able to attack, move, and everything like that. This is technically an interact in the middle of a combat, which you'll be able to do. I'm not going to make you roll for it since you're right there by the check. It will give me, finally, a mayhem point.
Oh! No! I'm willing to do it.
All right. So you open the chest, and will you roll a 1d10 for me to find out what is in the chest? An 8. You find a pistol with a purple glowing bar emitting from it. It's a rare pistol. I'm going to show you what that pistol is, and I'm going to let you immediately pick that up and equip it if you would like.
I kind of want to give it to somebody who is more proficient in pistols, but I also would like to give it a spin, so why don't I try that?
Okay. So,
I would like to try it. I just need to make sure it works before I hand it to somebody.
That's right. This pistol is called the Colonel. And I'm going to let everybody, I'm going to go ahead and give it to you. So you should see it come over to you, Morgan. Tell me if did that show up there?
Yes.
Cool. And then I'm going to show everybody else what she just got. It's called the Colonel. It's a rare pistol. It's a blue, not a purple line. Epic would be purple. And everybody, this is what the Colonel is. It is a pistol that is going to get an extra attack. It has a pretty good range for pistol, range 5. Accuracy mod on it's only -1 because it's rare. And it can do a lot of hits for 2d4 damage per shot. So pretty good damage on this. Imagine if you hit 3 times with 2d4. That's a lot of damage. And Morgan, you get the extra attack just like the sniper rifle you've gotten used to. So, you want to take the Colonel for a spin?
Let's take it for a spin.
All right, you're gonna need to close the distance. So you are gonna need to use let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you want to get in range of the phase-locked skeleton, you just need to move 2 or 3 squares closer to it, which is going to put you in stink range of Maya, unfortunately.
Oh.
If you want to give me another point of mayhem,
no, you only get 1.
Okay, I only get 1. I'm trying to sell it. I'm trying really hard to sell the mayhem.
I know you are. You sold 1. It's a good job.
Right. And that will put you, that's great. That will put you within 5 squares of the phase-locked skeleton. So you want to take a shot at him with that pistol. So give us, see, pistol is not your favored weapon, but you get to apply your normal accuracy bonus on it, which is pretty great on you. That's already +3. There's going to be a -1 because it still is rare, so you're going to get a +2 total on that accuracy roll.
Okay, so that means that I get the 14, which is I'm in the mid-range, so I'm going to roll 4d4.
4d4 for damage against the phase-locked Delio.
Wow.
12 points of damage.
+1, right?
Yes, that's right. +1, so 13 points of damage.
Yep.
All right. Remember, this skeleton had already been hit by Maya's amazing grenade. It's in a phase lock bubble, so it can't really dodge pistol rounds. You obliterated. Is there any specific way you want to describe this obliteration of this phase lock skeleton?
Well, first of all, because for the phase lock, it just is like fireworks, and it just looks completely amazing. It's just like this explosion that lights up the whole cave.
Oh, so beautiful.
So that's great. That's great. So explosion lights up the cave, and literally bone fragments go flying everywhere, and that guy is toast. All right.
And then I toss the. Who wants who's proficient in pistols?
Your soldier.
The soldier.
Axton's proficient in combat rifles and pistols. We decided at the top.
So then I will, as my last action, just like throw.
So you can absolutely throw a weapon to someone, but that is another one of those wonderful mystical abilities that gives me a mayhem point.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, he got it. He finally got it.
No. Wait, so can you explain to me what they are again, so I can really truly understand the sacrifice that I'm making?
So mayhem points, I can spend a mayhem point to all of the enemies that you fight have basic attacks, and then they have mayhem actions, and they typically do a lot more damage or hit multiple targets. It gives a chance for the enemies to do bigger attacks against you.
Okay, I think I'm gonna throw it.
I figure, go for the gold.
We're going in. Okay, I'm throwing that beautiful pistol. I'm like, it works! And then I throw it.
You're throwing that pistol to Axton, who is standing up and brushing himself off. I'm just going to say, I think throw damage is usually like 4 or 5 squares, but you're giving me a mayhem point, so it sails across the cavern and slides neatly to Axton's feet, literally with the butt of the gun right there where you can just pick it up with the grip right there. I mean, all you have to do is bend over and pick it up, Axton. And strangely enough, it's the skeleton's turn. So my skeleton, one of the last 2 living skeletons in here, is going to run at Axton. 1, 2, 3, 4, and finally an enemy in range of players, and my skeleton is going to attack Axton. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to spend a mayhem point.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, I knew it was coming.
We knew it was happening.
Thank you, Morgan, for the mayhem points. Here it goes. The skeleton is going to spin it, and basically he's going to take. Oh, he doesn't do an extra attack here, but he kind of yells and rattles, and he's now shaking so much. He's going to take 1 less hit from all ranged attack for this turn. So that's the mayhem point. I'm going to deduct a mayhem point from here. And then he is going to attempt to slash you with his spear. Hits. He's going to deal 1d10 plus 2 damage to you. So Axton, you are going to take 9 additional points of damage. And I think
that my shield.
So you have not taken any health damage, but
That's
because
right.
your shield doesn't start regenerating again because you took damage 2 turns in a row. So his shield bursts, his magical energy dispelling into the room, and he is very, very vulnerable. But unfortunately, that's all the skeleton can do. So we'll go to the next round. That skeleton has fled the building. Axton, you're up.
All right. I also have hella grenades, but it doesn't look like anyone's in a configuration where that would be that helpful. So I'm going to take the hint, and just to make it more complicated, because I want to use an interact check rather than... Although it doesn't say if you're interacting with your feet. It says interact with hands. But anyway, rather than bend over, all simple and cowardly-like, I would like to step down on the butt of the gun so it flips onto my toe, kick it up into the air, snatch it out of the air, and shoot the skeleton to bits.
All right, normally that's a badass check. That's a very badass thing to do. Normally you can only allow one per encounter, but I'm going to give you an extra one just because we're nearing the end of our session, and I want to give you a chance to make up for the very disappointing move last round. Okay.
There's some wet ass.
So I'm going to set this right in the middle. It's a badass check, difficulty 10, because you are specialized in pistols. So it's a very average badass. This is an average badass day for Axton. So give me a badass roll, Michael.
All right.
Just another pistol toe flip.
If you right click on it, you'll see a give to player option on the card.
Got it.
And then you can give it to Michael, and it should show up.
Thank
there
you.
It is. All right.
Sharing is caring.
Success. You have flipped the pistol into your hand and are shooting that. Because you did such a great there, I'm going to go ahead and give you the top tier hit on that pistol for your badass check. How many hits does that give you on that pistol?
Looks like 3 regular hits.
All right.
2d4 each.
So roll 6d4 for me for that skeleton.
Feels so good to click the macro 6 times, I just gotta say. Not
all right.
Too bad.
This is amazing. And the skeleton was already pretty blown up from the grenade earlier. How do you take this thing apart?
This one is not phased lock, right?
Oh, no. He was just moving around, running at you, slashing his scimitar at you.
So we're gonna blow each patella. That's the kneecap, I believe. Might be that's the scapula. Oh no, I'm flashing back to high school anatomy. We'll take out each kneecap, so he just kind of falls into place, and then headshot.
Great. So that happens just like that. It collapses in a pile of bones, and that skeleton is dead.
Woo!
All right. So the skeleton collapses at Axton's feet. And you guys have disintegrated those two without any problem. Blue Boy down here is his turn next. He basically says, "Screw that," and goes running out of the cave. See, that's how you shortcut a combat. So you have, and he's still a little shaky from Salvador's early yell, but unfortunately he has gone. And you hear him talking to someone in the room just beyond. In the middle of the chamber is a man with a golden gun. A golden gun that matches the description of Claptrap's wizard wand. Or actually, Marcus's wizard wand that Claptrap described with great detail, almost as if he had seen it before. The man there looks at you, and his wand, by the way, when I say wizard's wand, it's not your typical golden stick. It's a submachine gun made out of gold. This guy has a robotic arm and looks at you kind of with a cocksure smile on his face and like, ha ha ha, my great-great-grandfather forged this wand. Every subsequent generation of Coogans, because that's my name, Nathaniel Pierce Coogan Jr., NPC Jr., right? That's how you can refer to me. My great-great-grandfather forged this wand. My father sought this wand his whole life. The search consumed him, drove him mad. He believed the wand was taunting him, demanding it more and more and more from him, but he was never worthy of it. Only I was willing to pay the wand's golden price. He cradles the submachine gun in his arm and reaches into his sleeve and pulls out a single gold coin, which he deposits in a slot in the top of the submachine gun, and you hear it tick, 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 fill up with ammo as he loads the submachine gun and aims it at the party. At which point, a giant block of stone falls from the ceiling on top of NPC Jr., crushing him, leaving his extended robotic arm out to the side with the SMG there. And the wizard wand goes rolling out onto the floor, leaving it there for the party to pick up.
That is so unfortunate for him.
That was
wildly unfortunate.
But
you know what else?
In the depths of your soul. What was that again?
I said, but you know what else? That's the candy.
That is, in fact, the candy. It is the wizard's wand. And while you do feel shortcutted from what was possibly an epic combat, you feel satisfied that you completed your quest and found the wizard's wand. So you have but one choice to make as we wrap up this session of Tiny Tina's Bunkers and Badasses. What are you going to do with the wand? Now, you unlocked two options. You can use the mystical mystery grenade given to you by Mr. Torg to blow it up, or you can take it back to Brimstone and sell it to Marcus for a very meager 1,000 gold mining, a double finder's fee, which is going to give you about 50 gold.
I said we blow it up. Screw that guy.
Blow it up, 100%.
Can we use it to de-smell me first? Is that a thing that wands do?
Maybe the mystery grenade.
So what is that you wanted to do, Morgan?
I was going to try to do abracadabra, no more smell.
You know what?
Use the wand to make money. Can it generate gold so we don't have to worry about that guy, Marcus?
Oh, yeah.
No, it only consumes gold and turns it back into bullet star. But Morgan, because I am a wonderful and benevolent BM, I will allow you. You pick up the golden SMG, the wizard's wand, and you wave it in the air, and you hear inside your head Claptrap's voice like, "Huh! I didn't know it could do that." And sure enough, almost like a nasty, stanky water just rolls off of you onto the floor, and you smell like an assassin again, whatever that is. So
it's mostly sandalwood.
You're going to set the wand to the side and blow it up with Torg's grenade?
Yeah.
Okay, so you set the wand at a safe distance, step back, pull the pin out of the mystery grenade, and you throw it. It hurls gloriously through the air, lands on top of the mystery wand, and explodes in a showering sparkle of glitter, doing absolutely no damage to the wand. It is still yours to keep, or in the subsequent adventures of Bunkers and Badasses, the magic, the wizard magic of the wizard's wand, decide what else you might want to do with it. So our intrepid adventurers, on having not blown up the wand but followed Torg's instruction, might be able to find Lord Torg and get paid for doing exactly what he said, which we would have to follow up with in our next session. So this concludes tonight's version of the adventure of the Wizard's Wand, Tiny Tina's Bunkers and Badasses. Hey, thank you so much, Dave, Morgan, Michael, Zehra. Amazing time, amazing adventure. You guys are all badasses.
Thank you.
Thank you,
so
Andy.
Much fun.
Thanks, everybody. That was awesome.
Thank you, Dave. And thank you, everybody out there, for joining us. We hope you guys pick it up and try out a copy of this adventure for yourself. Everybody has a chance to be badasses in Tiny Tina's Bunkers and Badasses. We'll see you later. Bye.